Cool. And we're live. And we don't have to be all the way back here anymore. But it's okay. We're not going to move the table. We'll just move this up some. I mean, that's good. Like the professional setup we have here. Let's take a picture of this. We forgot to take pictures. We forgot to take a video.
We
forgot
did.
to do a bunch of stuff. That last guess. We will not forget with you. Oh, good. Good there. Sorry, I have to publish our last episode. Cool.
It's okay.
All right, so we'll go with love for profitability. Well, this is going to be talking about love and somehow integrating that with being profitable. How do you like that as a topic for today? As an overall topic for today? Okay, awesome.
Okay, I'm like, when I was listening to them, I was like, and this, like, all this stuff was coming, and it was like CFL and E plus O equals, like all these great tools that you can use in business all together. For 20 years I was in the nonprofit sector as a director and CEO, and
Cool.
I have 2 masters and a doctorate in nonprofit, so I have a lot of knowledge in my head.
All right.
But I left all that for meditation. So.
That's wonderful.
Oh, we're going to get into all of that. It's exciting. I'm going to get some more water, and I'm going to come back, and we're going to get started.
Okay.
Cool, and we're live right now.
Perfect. That's okay. How do you define your curls?
So I use a product called Lust, which is really, it's funny that today's topic is love because it's called Love Yourself.
Oh.
That's what it stands for. And I only wash my hair once a week.
Okay.
And the longer I go without washing, the more it looks like this.
I love that.
So, but I use it once a week. I wash, and it's all natural,
Okay.
vegan, and I'm a vegan, so I
Okay.
fit that mold.
Absolutely.
And but I've been using it for almost 2 years,
Okay.
and the more you use it, the better your hair looks. And so that's been my to-go, and you literally wash your hair one time and you just refresh. So you
Okay.
can, this is day 3, I think it is, or day 2, I don't remember. But I just get a little bit of water in my hands, and then I just reshape the curls that
That's awesome.
look kind of good, some of them. And then to sleep, I just put it in a pineapple
Okay, yeah.
and do a wrap, a
Okay.
silk wrap.
How fun.
And then that's what
Yeah.
I've been doing for 2 years. I actually had a long time. I used to blow dry my hair every day
Oh, wow.
because I'm Colombian, born and raised in Cartagena, and
Okay.
curly hair is not acceptable there.
Oh.
So I used to blow dry my hair. So it took a long time for me to release that and
Yeah.
really accept
Yeah.
my curly hair and all.
I love that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's try. All right. So I'm going to turn this on and hope that it doesn't turn off in the middle of our video.
Do you want to squish in a little bit? Since you weren't in the last video, Jermaine? It was just
All
your
right, I know,
arms.
right?
It was just your arms.
Oh, and we're crooked too. I gotta come in here earlier and do all of this nuanced stuff. Okay, cool. So let's.
Here we go.
All right. Cool. Thanks for sticking out with us, live person. I know who you are. I gotta get someone to watch that. All right, and now we're gonna get ourselves up on Anchor. And then we're going to go right into it. So, yeah, all right.
Perfect.
Let's roll. Hello, Southern Arizona, and welcome to Coffee with ThreeCo, a podcast that shares the stories of Southern Arizona's most interesting people and their local businesses. I am one of your hosts, Jermaine. I'm the founder of Imperion Partners, a small business support organization that believes anyone can monetize their passion. And vital to business success is networking with business experts. But networking is generally inconsistent and time-consuming. Business owners had a service that introduced them to personalized business connections based on their business needs and their preferred days, times, and locations to meet. The networking would be effortless. So Imperion Partners provides that service. It's called Introduction Networking. where the business community comes to you.
And hello, I'm Kelsey Farley from kelseyfarley.com. And if you're a local Tucson business looking for more visibility on social media, I would love to work with you. I'm also a mom of 2 elementary aged kids, so we always like finding new places to visit in the Tucson area. And if you would, I would love to help you reach more customers and look more visible online. And if you would like a little bit more information, you can visit kelseyfarley.com.
Awesome. What's next?
Oh, I have the schedule. Well, today we are, what is the word I'm looking for? Joined.
Joined, yeah.
Accompanied?
We are accompanied by, I don't know.
I think we should say joined.
Today we have a special guest.
There we go. And you take
So
it
that from the
away.
Breakfast Club. Today
Yes.
we have a special guest.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure. So my name is Karen Baden, and I am Baden.
Okay.
And I am the owner and founder of Open Lotus Meditation. It is a meditation service. I pretty much work with people one-on-one in group settings. I do meditation retreats in Sedona. I do sound healing, which is energy work. I also have a Blooming Lotus meditation membership where people can actually learn to meditate from the comfort of their own home. And it is coursework where they go every month and they complete all kinds of beautiful things. So that's my business as a whole. I have been doing this, my business fairly new. It's going on 2 years in August.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
So it survived COVID. And you know, I think that it actually blossomed through this really hard times because I had to reinvent a lot of my business structure to be able to service people online, and that really bloomed and allowed Blooming Lotus Meditation membership to arise and more events online, and it just expanded my reach. So you know, I have customers or clients in the UK and Ireland and India. I'm actually doing another podcast next week from India. Well, I'll be here, but it's an India podcast. So it's just really been a blessing for me. You know, I've not always been in meditation. I actually was in corporate America in the nonprofit sector for 22 years prior to this business, and all higher level positions, director and CEO, and stress was literally killing me. So I brought a meditation teacher to come and distressify my staff, and I fell in love. I was like, this is what I want to feel all the time. So I started meditating just 3 minutes a day, and then 5 years later, here I am. So I literally just discontinued or just, you know, separated myself from the corporate world and started my own business. And I think, you know, it allowed me to be successful because I had so much knowledge running organizations before. And I think that's something that really, it was helpful for me to run my own business, that I know I'm a one-man show. I know marketing, I know, I do my own bookkeeping, I know all the ins and outs, so that's really helped me to be profitable in what I do every single day. Yeah.
Awesome. So that was terrific. Terrific intro. Let us, like, I guess before, like, who are you? Where'd you grow up? You know, what was your, like, what were your younger years like? How'd you see the world, and how'd you initially enter the corporate world and to start working for a nonprofit?
Sure. So I was actually born and raised in Cartagena, Colombia. So I'm from South America. My first language is Spanish, and I came to this country when I was almost 9. No English. But I love this country, right? In my country, as a third world country, America is the land of opportunity. So I knew that this is where opportunity was going to happen for me. I've always been a big nerd, love school, knowledge is a big part of who I am. And so my goal was to graduate high school and go straight into college and go straight into graduate school. Well, life throws lots of wrenches. I graduated actually my undergrad when I was 19, but instead of going right into my master's, I went into the military. So I was an MP in the Army for 8 years. So that was that was a big. I traveled. I met amazing, wonderful people. It definitely set a good foundation for my work ethic. And I am a type A personality. Like, I'm very organized, very tenacious. Is that the word? Very tenacious. Structure is really important to me. And I flourished in the military because that's what the military is all about. And I was an MP, so a 5 foot, 120 pound MP. So
yeah, that's very interesting. I was imagining rolling up to the gate and okay.
Yeah. And then I got into corporate because when I got pregnant, and I was actually found out I was pregnant because I was getting deployed to Iraq. And they're like, "Oh, you're pregnant, 4 months." And I was like, "Whoa,
how exciting!" But wow.
And I was in Korea when I found out. So I ended up coming back to the States and going reserves. And then I went into corporate after I had my son. And that's where my nonprofit career started. My first nonprofit work was for a company called Nueva Esperanza, which means New Hope. And I was helping specifically women get out of abusive situations and getting them ready to work.
That's incredible.
And then I did a job fair, and the American Red Cross, from biomedical, because the American Red Cross has relief and what's the other word they use? Relief and rescue, I think it is, and then they have biomedical, which is the blood service. So I invited biomedical, and they were like, "You need to come work for us." And I'm like, "But I'm happy right here." And I got laid off literally like that week. And the American Red Cross picked me up. That's how beautiful the universe is, right?
And where are you when this is happening? Like, where'd you?
Philadelphia. I was in Philadelphia. Yeah. And that's where my mom used to live, and my sister lives still there. And so I worked for the American Red Cross for 10 years. And I actually transferred here to Tucson about almost towards the end of my career with the Red Cross. And then I worked for the Hermitage. I worked for the YMCA. I worked for, those were the those are my 3 main jobs in the nonprofit sector. And and it's been a whirlwind of experiences and meeting amazing people, but definitely now that I'm in this type of work, I could see how everything was perfect in every single way, because it's led me right here to this moment.
Yes,
with you guys.
Now I have to ask, what crystal is hanging around your neck?
Citrine.
Oh.
Yes. So this crystal is the crystal to wear. It balances you, it grounds you, it allows you to have a lot of energy, step into your power, and it enhances all of these beautiful creativity. It actually connects your sexuality, so you're freer, you feel more yourself. So I always wear citrine, I wear labradorite, blue lace agate, rhododendrosite, I have laminar, I have lots
so
of
many
different
words I've never heard before.
Crystals is a huge part of who I am.
That's amazing.
So yeah, but this is citrine.
So how do crystals work?
Of course, yes. So all crystals have a certain vibration to them. And when we place them, in our bodies, we're all vibration. When we place the crystals in parts of our bodies, or we wear them, our bodies calibrate to that vibration of the crystals, which allows us to have that healing of that specific crystal. So if you're feeling anxiety and maybe a little bit of anger, and you're feeling like you need to forgive, then you would definitely do some Larimar, which I wear all the time. If you're an empath, where you really absorb other people's energies, you want to wear labradorite, okay, all the time. It just protects you. Or some smoky quartz is great for that too. If you go home and you have a headache, you put a little bit of lapis lazuli between your third eye, you lay down for 20 minutes and you wake up, and it's amazing. So there's lots of different ways to heal with crystals, and to really provide some extra, I call it the icing on the cake, because it just makes you feel so good. When I don't have crystals on my body, I feel like just off.
Yeah. My friend Ashley that I sent you her profile a while ago.
Yes.
She works with crystals and she swears by them.
Yes,
So.
I have them everywhere. Everywhere. I carry them on me. I always have them on my body. Even my mama has a manzanite, which is a great calming stone as well. And then you have sandalwood, which is used by Buddhist monks, which also brings a lot of tranquility and clarity into your life. So yeah, I'm like a walking encyclopedia in my head.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
So speaking of, you mentioned the third eye. Can you teach us and our audience about the chakra system?
Ooh, how much time do we have? So the chakra system is actually very scientific. If you scan your body in a cascade, you can see your chakra centers. So we have thousands in our bodies. They're called nadis. However, there's only 7 that are the biggest, most intertwined ones that we can actually see. And it starts with the root chakra, and it's right on your tailbone. The color is red. The vibration is lam. And this specific chakra connects you to earth. So when you're feeling like unstable, fish out of water, have you ever felt that? Like you're like, what am I doing? Like, where am I supposed to be or go? Or you're just feeling kind of icky. That's your root. That's you not having that groundness to family, friends, what you want in life. So that's your root chakra. Really important to be connected. The crystals that associate to the root are anything that's dark, like jasper, or you can do petrified wood. Smoky quartz can also ground you. So anything that's in those darker earth tones. So when you're picking crystals, go with intuition, right? But if they're darker, that beautiful earthy tone, that's going to be your root. 7 fingers up is your sacral chakra, your swahisthana. So there's always a Sanskrit word that goes with it. And this is right below your belly button. This is your connection to creativity. This is where your intentions and your ideas are planted. This is your sexuality. And the color is orange. The vibration is Vam. And when I say vibration, you can actually say these vibrations to help open and balance those chakras. So if you're feeling like you're fish out of water, you can gently just sit for a few minutes and go, Lam, Lam, and hold that crystal on your left hand. And it brings, like, I just do it and it just feels so good. Like, you literally fall into this.
Just listening to that was so nice.
Yeah, like, it really grounds you. Same thing with your sacral chakra. If you're like, I can't think of anything right now, like, you have to be creative, and especially in social media, you know, in everything in life, we need to have creativity, and that, you know, and when we're not feeling that, we can definitely open that sacral chakra by saying Vam and envisioning that orange color moving in a clockwise position. Our chakras always move in clockwise positions, okay? 7 fingers up is your solar plexus, your manipura, and this one's really popular. A lot of people know about your solar plexus. I don't know why. But
It sounds familiar.
I think it's because it's close to the sternum. I know in mixed martial arts they say solar plexus a lot, but we're not talking about solar plexus. We're talking about like really just this part of the body that when you get hit, it kind of like the whole universe comes into motion. You're like really questioning whether you want to be a fighter or not.
Well, so your solar plexus, called the manipura, this is your get it done chakra. Step into your power. It's your Agni. Color is yellow like the sun. The vibration is Ram. So if you're feeling like, I don't feel like doing nothing, I'm just going to sit here and vegetate and watch my Netflix. That means your solar plexus probably needs to be open. So then you would sit there and do that Ram, or you can do that, envision that yellow color kind of spinning. But this is where, if your ideas are planted in your sacral chakra, your solar plexus puts them into drive, puts them into action, okay? 7 fingers up is your heart. And this is the largest chakra in your body. It actually extends to your shoulders, down your arms, to your fingertips, and your upper back, okay? The vibration is Yam, Y-A-A-M. The color is actually trifold. depending on what you believe in, where you come from, if it's Buddhist or India, it might be pink, green, or black. I normally go with the pink or the green, but a lot of people associate it with black as well, which is Buddhism. But you can, whatever resonates in your heart. And this is your connection to forgiveness, love, compassion. And when that is blocked, we really feel a strain. Sometimes we even get physical elements coming up, like the shoulders are really, really tight. You might even have like pressure on one side of your chest, holding on to some hurts and pains also feels you like, oh, just doesn't feel good. It feels icky. Like I call it emotional residue. And so that's when that part of and it could be one part, another part. It can be, you can get pain in your arms, or I don't know if you've ever woken up but your fingers have been kind of stiff. That's all connected to your heart chakra. And all of your chakras have physical elements to them as well, which, we can do an entire segment on just chakras if you can tell. I'm just going to keep moving on. The next one is your throat chakra. This is your speaking, your expression center. This is where we give ourselves permission to open our heart, to feel the power, to open your creativity. Your throat is also your narrowest of your chakra centers, so a lot of energy gets stuck here, and we can manifest that by sore throats, feeling kind of like like you want to clear your throat. That's energy stuck there. And the color is blue. The vibration is hum, so you can easily go hum, and you can actually feel that vibrating and starting to open, and you can envision that blue color. Any crystals that are, and I forgot to mention the other ones, but any crystals that are in blue in nature, throat. So blue lace agate, great throat. Anything blue in the quartz family is going to be for your throat chakra. Lapis lazuli can be used for the throat or the third eye, so some of them are interchangeable, but great way to open your throat. If you're feeling like you're walking on eggshells, your throat is blocked, okay? Then it's the third eye, and I never touch my third eye because someone once said, oh my God, Karen, don't touch your third eye, you'll block it. So now I never touch it.
Okay.
So I like, when I'm like this, I'm like, okay, my third eye is right here.
I'm going to be very aware of that now.
Right between your brow is your third eye, and this is your intuition, trusting. How many times have you had that gut feeling when someone walks into the room and you're like, I don't like that person? Trust that. That's actually your intuition leading you in the right direction, okay? So trusting yourself, it really allows you to see in the divine, two divine eyes looking out, one divine eye looking in. And this, the vibration is sham, color is purple, okay? So it's a great way to just really go into your trusting. If you're like, should I buy that house?
Let's pair of shoes.
Should I spend that extra money?
Should I go to Target? Probably not, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
That's your intuition. And then the lastly is your crown chakra. This is your 1,000-petal lotus. It is your connection to the divine. Colors ultraviolet. The vibration is Om, O-M. And this is where you are connected to source, whatever that means to you. Life, the universe, God, Brahman, Jesus, Jehovah. I mean, I could keep going, right?
Yeah.
There's just
infinite
amounts of beliefs out there, but this is us believing in a higher something. And when all of those energetic centers are open and flowing, we feel balanced, aligned. We're in the zone. It doesn't matter what we're doing, we're like, yeah. Yeah, it just feels really, really good.
Coffee with ThreeCo.
Yeah, there you go. And you can balance your chakras through meditation, through sound healing. I have classes every Friday at 11 a.m. right up the road here on Broadway, where I do these balancings, and it's really easy. You lay down, you just listen, and I play for you.
I like to lay down.
Yeah, and people really love it because it's an easy way to meditate, and it balances your energetic centers. Sometimes people walk in and they're stiff, like they're like, oh, just don't feel good. My knees hurt, my lower back hurts, and they leave there and they're like, I call it a soul massage because I'm not really touching you, but you're still gonna get that detoxification of balancing and aligning your chakra centers.
There's one lady here who had surgery recently, and she was talking about how she was healing up, but she gave another story, and it was talking about how she had some, I believe it was ulcers or some kind of, it wasn't ulcers, like bruises on some lung or some organ, and somebody was talking to her and had a conversation about something that was happening in her life and fixed it. And he's like, okay, well, have a great day. And she's like, all right, I don't get it. You're supposed to like fix me. And he goes, have a nice day. You can go to your doctor, ask him to check you out and all that stuff. So she checked it out, but she noticed between leaving the doctor's office and or rather leaving this shaman or whoever he was office and going to the doctor however many days or weeks later, that she just felt like a better human being, right? She just felt better. And so as she's going and thinking about the conversation that she had, thinking about the different areas of her life that she came to decisions to or that she, figured out, and she's like, I don't feel the pain anymore. Like, I don't feel like it. And she didn't even notice that going to the doctor, she felt the pain, and then leaving, she didn't feel any pain until she's thinking about all these items or parts of her life. So I say that to say, I think that our body is directly connected to the reality we experience, and that like every cell, every organ, every part of our actual body relates to some aspect of our actual reality that we're experiencing. So every time you're improving an aspect of yourself, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or physical, or your social self, or your financial self, you're actually healing all these other parts because they're all connected, and maybe more directly connected to some things than others. But overall, when it comes to what you're talking about with health, there's so much like more direct tension with some things. It's like with human beings, okay, so there's a human being that I don't like, and every time that human being walks around, my physical body tenses, and now I got headaches, and for some reason, every time this person comes around, I have a headache, but I don't know why. I just know that they give me a headache. So my body's tensing up because for whatever reason, they're always talking about football, and I'm like, football. Like whatever the reason is. But exactly what you're saying, like these like things in our lives that we figure out that manifest themselves physically that we can fix by fixing our psychological aspect of ourselves, which is where the placebo effect comes in and all of that. So
yeah, I mean, in meditation we have a saying that where attention goes, energy flows, right? And that's why affirmations are so amazing. That's why, when we have a gratitude practice, you're like, oh, my life is so much better. And, I love science. I love research.
Ditto.
And there's now, UC Berkeley has an entire school based just for research on gratitude. And the last study that came out, they spoke about gratitude and how it literally changes the frontal cortex of your brain if you do it for 30 consecutive days for 20 seconds a day. 20 seconds.
Wow.
Or a letter, doesn't have to be sent to anyone, for 20 minutes. You write a letter saying, I'm grateful for my warm water in the morning, my toothbrush, my toothpaste for 20 minutes. I do meditation. I do a gratitude practice in meditation, and I also write a gratitude. And I actually carry it with me because I love and I also love stickers. But a gratitude practice where you're just writing for a few minutes what really fills your heart every single day. Scientifically proven to change the chemistry of your brain, to shift the pains that you have in your heart, to shift your physiology. And this study was the first study they did with people who actually had mental illness. Mm-hmm. So they had anxiety, depression, they were taking pills for all kinds of different things that they needed to find balance. And having a gratitude practice shifted that. 30 days.
I need to start doing affirmations and gratitude journaling, and because I tend to, as a mom of younger kids, I tend to hold on to, well, I feel like I'm the only one doing anything around this house, and I get very snarky, and my kids are like, Mom, do you need to go take a nap? Yes, you might be right. I might need to do that. So I might need to start doing that as a way to kind of channel those.
Oh yeah, and gratitude, like I said, 20 seconds. You could just literally put feet on ground and ask yourself, what am I grateful for? Don't grab your cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't grab anything. You just literally ask yourself, what am I grateful for? And you can take it deeper by asking, why am I grateful? And you can time it. We all have Apple Watches nowadays. You can say, hey.
I noticed yours had the poop emoji on it.
It changes the emojis every time I go up.
Oh, that's funny.
So now it's really cool. I like changing my faces a lot.
Yeah.
Because they're fun.
That is fun.
But it does allow you to just start your day differently. It sets the trajectory for your day. Another study. If you have a gratitude practice, your day, your trajectory will be moved to a positive state by 60%. 20 seconds of gratitude changes your day by 60%. Because your day could be going great and you're like, yeah, and then someone cuts you off and you're like, this and all of a sudden you've placed all this negative energy into your space and you carry it. Or you get that text message and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Or you get that email and you're like, I'm gonna say my, and then all of a sudden it's ruined your day for the rest of your day. And having a gratitude practice shifts that, where you can literally, you're training your brain when bad things happen to come take a step back and say, what good is happening in my life right now? I'm drinking a hot cup of coffee. How many people don't have that?
Is your whole journal full like that?
No, so
it doesn't look like that. 'Cause that was like so cool. Too bad you guys can't see this because
yeah.
it looks
Oh
really
wow!
So there's a lot, and then these are blank, and then I like calligraphy and doing fun things and a lot of stickers. But this is my planner.
Okay.
This is what I do every single day. I have my planner, and then one thing I do want to mention is a victory log. A victory log is a fantastic way to bring yourself from negative state to a positive state daily. So you write down all the awesome things you do in your life every day. So I already wrote down today, podcast today, yay! That's on my victory log, not mine, it's right there.
awesome.
Looking, okay, I can't say this one. Okay, maybe I said, I'm looking damn cute. I wrote that down.
That's awesome.
And you are right, ma'am. You are
Thank
right.
you. So see, it's like, you literally, you're building yourself up because we spend so much time of our lives with those limiting beliefs. We're like, I'm awesome. No, you're not. I'm going to start my business. No, you're not. I'm going to be profitable. No, you're not. You're not worthy. We are conditioned in life to speak to ourselves that way. So to uncondition ourselves, to break those barriers, we do things like this. We do victory logs. We do gratitude practice, and it takes seconds. How many times do you pick up your phone and all of a sudden 50 minutes have passed by? You're like, oh my God, I've been on social media for 15 minutes.
Every day.
And you're like, but I don't have time to meditate. And I don't have time to do gratitude practice. It takes too much time. And I don't have time to take a walk. And I don't have time for self-care. Hour.
Yes.
20 minutes of meditation, 20 minutes of reading, 20 minutes of exercise. And if we can actually dedicate that hour to yourself, and it doesn't have to be that, it could be 20 minutes of
Picking up your house.
whatever feels good to you. I have a client who her cleaning time is her meditation. She loves it. She plugs in music, she dances, she's cleaning, that's what she does. Whatever
Maybe
works.
I need to listen to music. That'll make me clean more.
Well, that's not mine. I don't like cleaning.
Uh-uh.
I get someone to do that for me. But it's really an amazing way to bring positivity into your life. And I know that, abundance, profitability in business is really, really important. But I kind of want to shift that a little bit, because as a new business owner, I was so like, okay, I need to have these many clients for this many days to do these many things. And I literally had these very specific things. And I was so rigid about it, right? That military, this is what you need. And then I heard something on Facebook from, I think her name is Jermaine or something like that. And she's like, how about you shift your mentality to the energy of whoever needs me will be guided to contact me today. So I have this affirmation. May those who can truly benefit from my services be guided to contact me today. And I stop, and I get chills just, that's how strong affirmations can be for you. May someone who truly needs my services be guided to contact me today. And once I shifted that mindset, it started flowing. I could feel the shift, the energy, literally shifting to this positive state where, I had some new clients, new things were popping up, you contacted me. It was like all of these beautiful things in life, and then you release it, you surrender, trust that what is happening is perfect, right? And that really allows more abundance. And not just abundance of money, abundance of love, spirituality, calmness, clarity, whatever you want in your life to come in. Because if we're like this, I want all the things, but you're like this, guess what? You can't receive.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're like this, and you're trusting, and you're open, then that energy is going to flow. Because money is energy. It is. If you hold on to it, if you're like, I can't spend those, that money, I can't go shopping at Target, I can't do all these things, and you hold on tight, guess what? No money will flow.
Yeah.
But if we're a little bit more released, a little bit more open, and we're like, you know what? I'm going to reward myself. I'm going to go and get me that outfit or buy me those shoes, or I'm going to give this extra $25 that I have to someone that I really care for, or an organization. Boom. It comes back. And you're like, wow, that shit works. Oh, sorry.
Have you read, that's okay. Have you read The Alchemist?
I have not, no.
So you're talking about how about The Richest Man in Babylon? Okay, so each of those you're talking about, or rather, one piece of what you're talking about is the 10% rule. I think it was in either Think and Grow Rich or Rich
The
Dad Poor
Pareto
Dad.
Rule. Is it the Pareto Rule 2080?
No, this is like for specifically for finances.
Okay.
Giving 10% of yourself.
Oh, yes.
Kiyosaki is very much into it. Like the first thing you do is pay yourself for use when money comes in.
Yes.
So one thing I do with money specifically is start nurturing myself financially by saying, oh, okay, so 10% of this is for me to do whatever I want with, and that's in my brain. So like this is my width, I'll take this and then add it to that. Because my goal is to have a set daily amount that I can spend on whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I just have like a fluctuating amount. Like this is how much I'm going to spend on whatever I want, and it's just as money comes in, it's 10% of whatever comes in. Right? So that's the way that I nurture myself, and I think that like when we think about you're talking about like pushing the energy out, pushing it out rather than saying, because it's a mental shift to go from, this is like 2 years ago to right now, to go from spending money to investing money, right? So a mindset to where I'm investing in something, I'm investing my money out there, and one thing that I invested in is myself. So I want to invest in myself, but not just invest in myself as the business owner or as the business consultant or as a sharp dude, as a podcast, like the things that I do in my life I want to sharpen, but also sharpening like my thoughts about myself, like sharpening how I deal with the outside world, how I deal with other people, even one thing, I'm more of an avoidance type of person as opposed to a confronting type of person. So I'm learning how to confront more in like a way, because I usually just get anxiety, and I'm like, I don't really want to get into an argument. Like, I don't have time for that. That's what I tell myself. But I should be telling myself something else. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm working on it.
So I'm gonna give you a small tool, because I was actually listening to the podcast when I walked in, and I was like, oh, this, and I went and I was like, this is perfect. I'm setting it up right now. So there's this beautiful acronym that I use in my life daily, and it's CFL. You see things in life as challenges. Those difficult situations, instead of like, I'm feeling with that, look at it as a challenge, because challenges you want to face. You're like, oh, okay, challenge, bring it on, right? Challenge. Then you see things as finite. They're not going to last forever. What you are feeling right now for this person who talks about football, you're not going to feel for them, and it's not even going to be part of who you are. So things are finite. But the best part of that CFL is you look at things as learning and growing opportunities. If we do not see our challenges as learning and growing, we suffer more. We're stressed. And what is stress? It's literally the reaction we have when we don't get what we want. Right? So when we are looking at life as a challenge, as finite challenges that we're learning and growing from, you're like, yeah. Okay. All of a sudden, the hard parts of life, you almost like, you're like, okay, this is happening, I don't like it, but I'm gonna grow from this. And you welcome, like I literally have put, I don't know how many times in my gratitude journal, thank you for today's challenge. Because I have stepped into a higher level of who I am. Then I ask myself, what would the best version of me do? So you have to take a step back and take a deep breath. Before you send that text message, before you send that email, before you're screaming at the kids, or before you're like, how come I'm washing dishes freaking 5 times a day and no one can wash a freaking spoon? You know, those things come up, right? That's life. If you just take a step back and breathe, what would the best version of me do? You change the shift. You literally not change the shift, you're shifting yourself to live your life at the highest, where you suffer a little bit less, right? Where you're a little bit more or less defensive, where you can truly step into love. And love is everything. Love is the root, the fractal, right? What is a fractal?
I don't know.
It's the beginning of everything. It's that first, broccoli is a fractal. Like broccoli has a beginning and then it changes. And gemstones have fractals. They have this root, like the actual seed, and then they shift to something else.
Elsa says it in Let It Go. Or yeah, she says fractals all around. She's talking about the snowflakes.
Yeah, snowflakes are fractals.
Yes.
They're different in every way.
Now I know what a fractal
Yes.
is. I can sing that song with knowing what it is. Learn something new every day.
So a fractal of your life, and what makes you who you are? And then that's where you start. That's love is the fractal of everything. You want to be more kind? Love. You want to be more compassionate? Love. You want to have more abundance? Love. Everything starts there. And when we have that love right here, because it starts with us, we cannot ripple out anything unless we start with who we are. We want more compassion? Got to give compassion to ourselves. And then we give that back.
That's like pouring from your full cup. Yes. There you go.
You can't pour from an empty cup.
I was watching someone on social media that I follow, and she saw a woman post in one of her groups that she's in that you can pour from an empty cup and that you should, and she was like, whoever says that, like you can't pour from an empty cup. You just can't.
You can't. Because okay, let's play devil's advocate.
There's a result to it.
So let's pour from an empty cup. What do you feel? Resentment,
stress,
anger, stress, anxiety. You're like, right, and I used to give my boss when I was in corporate this example. Said there's only so much butter you can spread on a toast. It's like you're like, I need to put more butter, but you only have 1 tablespoon and you're trying to spread it very evenly in this piece of toast. You're like, you can't do that. There's only so much you can actually give from. Now, when you're feeling like, yeah, I have self-care, I feel good, I'm healthy, I'm looking cute today, you know, like all these things, then you're like easily more available to provide that out, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can pour from an empty cup, absolutely, but you're going to be a miserable person doing it.
Yes.
Precisely. I think one of the major, when it came, so I grew up as a Christian apostolic was specific. Like the specific form of Christianity was pretty strict. And like doing things because you're told or because you have to, as opposed to doing them because you actually feel like doing them, is actually taught and like nurtured. Like it's not about your feelings, it's about the rule or the system that you're going to go into, when the system was created for people to sort of who have those feelings of wanting to do good. So for example, you have a church and it's Thanksgiving time, so we want to go out and want to go help people on Thanksgiving time. And we need volunteers, right? And you have one person's like, yeah, I'm so excited to do it, and one person's like, I don't like volunteering. I don't want to be out in the cold. I hate being out in the cold. It's always snowing. I know it's going to be windy, and I don't like people. That people always come up and always want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to people. And so you actually don't want to do it. But the system says you have to ignore that feeling of not wanting to do it and just do it because it's the thing that everyone else is doing, right? When we were talking about in our last podcast, finding your lane, maybe you don't like that, but you're an artist and you love drawing, so maybe you just focus on creating flyers, and that's all you do is create flyers. Now you're in your lane, you love creating flyers, and you get to help. You don't have to do any of the things you don't want to do. But our mindset in the moment when it's like, how do I deal with this thing that I don't want to do, as opposed to looking at it from a perspective of, all right, how do I take what is here and how do I make lemonade from this stuff that's here, you know, as opposed to, I don't like lemons at all. I'm just throwing a lemon away. So I think that a mental, so much of what we're talking about is just a mental shift in how you think about the thing that is. It never changes the thing. I think that's a big issue as well. The idea that someone's having a conversation to me about, let's say masks, for example, right? You have one person who wants to complain to me that people don't wear masks. You have another person who wants to complain to me that people do wear masks, right? I don't care either way, right? It's not a part of my life. So, not a part of my mental thought process when I'm living life. So how do I talk to these people in a way that says, I really don't care about what you're saying, I don't want you to take my time with it, because you're one of many people who are taking time with it, but also not be rude, not be like, what you're saying is invalid and not worth my time, so I'm not sure how I got to this point, but now I'm here thinking about how because once again, I'm more of an avoidance person, so it's usually I'm going to sit, I'm going to be quiet, I'm going to listen. I know I don't have to agree. Oh, that's what I was talking about, right? So the concept that I can't listen to someone who I disagree with because I disagree with them. So there's no need for me to listen to them because then I know that they're wrong. As opposed to, I disagree with this person, but I'm going to listen to them. I don't have to agree with them to understand where they're coming from. I don't have to agree with them to listen to them. And if I disagree with them, I also don't have to talk about how I disagree with them and say that, well, what about this and what about that? I can just let them be. So that's sort of my avoidance method, where when talking to someone, he's like, well, let's say you see someone doing something wrong and you have the opportunity to step in. So I'm going to ask you this question. What do you think about our effect on the world in a universal sense when it comes to us having a limited knowledge of what the impact of the things we do actually are?
So that's a great question, and there's a very simple answer actually. And that is that what you do, just what you do, what's important to you, what you want, is enough. Because we cannot control what's happening over there, over there, over there, over there. We can't. There's only two things in life we can control. What we say and what we do. And that's it. So I really, when people say, oh my God, how can I make an impact? You do it by having control of the things that you can control, your thoughts and your actions, your ideas, your thoughts, right? What you do for people. That's what you can control. So I have a really good friend who, she's a vegan, she's a humanitarian, she loves the earth, and she struggles a lot with, how can I do more? And I'm like, bring it back. Don't worry about more, worry about you. That's it. And the ripple goes far. When people around you, like, I'll give you an example. My son is 17. He meditates every single day. I never, not once said to him, meditate. He just has literally seen me for the past 5 years sit in my meditation room and meditate 2-3 times a day. And he sees me and he sees the shift. And so he's like, I want that. I want that, Mom. I'm like, meditate if you want it. If not, don't meditate. I mean, it's up to you. And now every single day, I love hearing him go, I'm going to go meditate. Don't interrupt me. I never told him that. He chose that path because of my ripple, right? So I say, do not worry about all the things and worry about you and what you want in your life. And when you're talking to that person and you're like, I really don't give a crap about what you're saying, you can easily say, you know what? I really can truly feel where you're coming from. However, it's not part of my priorities. It's okay to say that from a kind manner, right? Mm-hmm. So you can write, and I have this right now, my 5 top priorities in my life. And if it doesn't fall in that 5 priorities, I don't give it attention. I don't do it. I say easily no. So my priorities: meditation, my business, of course, traveling to places that fill me with joy, knowledge, kind and compassion. If it doesn't fit, I don't do it. And if someone's like, because I get lots of emails, I had an email from someone that said, can you put our autism link on your website? Can you put our Alzheimer's link on your website? And I'm like, does it fit into meditation? I mean, it could. I give it some thought. But I'm like, it doesn't. I'm sorry. And I feel good about saying that no. Yeah. And I feel good about telling people when they're like, hey, do you want to go do a beer crawl with me? No. I love you. You're my best friend. But I'm not going to do a beer crawl with you. Yeah. Not in my priority list. And and people respect it because they're like, damn, she has barriers. I want that. And then they'll start to actually reflect that on you, where if you're saying something, they're like, I'm sorry, it's not on my priority list. And then you can't get angry. You're like, yeah, I said that to you. Okay, gotcha. Mm-hmm. So it's a beautiful way to not have so much worry about everything else. Do what matters to you and still have boundaries in place.
What advice would you give to someone that has never really meditated, or like for me, I have so much going on in my head, I can't silence everything going on. So what advice do you give someone who wants to try but just has never really been able to?
Sure. So the first thing I could say is call me. No, I'm just just call me. But no, seriously, just call me. The first thing you need to do is understand what meditation is. Meditation is a simple, gentle back and forth between the object of your attention and your thoughts. When you're meditating, you're going to have thoughts. Yeah. You have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. I'm talking to you, and they're going. You might be paying attention, but in the back of your mind, I'm like, I really want to say this. Oh, this is the next question I need to ask. Oh, so you're really not 100% present. Meditation, you just use a focal point, a mantra, your breath, a picture, walking, whatever it is that really puts you in that present moment where there's nothing in the past, there's nothing in the future, there's just that point of attention. And everything else kind of lets go. But your brain is still going, right? Because if we have thoughts, we're alive. If we don't have thoughts, we're brain dead. We don't want that. We want thoughts. So when you're meditating, you're literally going from the object of your attention to your thoughts. The second thing that I recommend is doing a guided meditation. Find a teacher that you like. You like their voice. You connect with them. I have lots of free meditations that you can listen to. If you go to my website, I have actually says free meditations.
Tell us what your website
Oh,
is. While you're at
it's
it.
openlotusmeditation.com, and all my services are on there. I have free meditations. You can also join Blooming Lotus membership for free for 30 days, so you can see the platform, see what the lessons could look like. If you like it, then you pay. It's $25 a month. I do have specials sometimes. I just ended a special, was $15 for your first month, and I'll probably do something similar like that again soon. But I like for people to try, because not every teacher is going to be the right teacher for you. So I give lots of different ways to connect with me for free to see if I'm the right teacher for you. So really understanding what meditation is. Secondly, doing a guided meditation. Consistency is 1,000% important than duration. A lot of times you're like, oh, I have to meditate for 30 minutes. In lotus pose with straight back. Perfect mudras. No. Get comfortable. Do it in your bed. Throw yourself on the floor. Do it in your lazy boy. Do it in the car. So you have to do what works for you. Listen to a guided meditation and then get the hang of it. What is my ritual going to look like? Am I going to rise, pee, and meditate, RPM? Am I going to ride after work? Or whatever that is. And really you should be meditating twice a day, every day for 20 minutes. But don't worry about that. Meditate twice a day for 3 minutes. Meditate every day, twice a day for 1 minute. Whatever you can do, that's where you want to start. And don't judge yourself. You're going to have thoughts. There are going to be bad meditations, good meditations. Every meditation is a snowflake. It's new every single day. I had a bad meditation this morning. I couldn't settle. My body was like this. I was like, oh my God. And I literally rose, pee, and meditate. I do that every morning, but I couldn't settle in. I still love my meditation. I wrote, I'm grateful for my practice today, because it sucked. And it makes me appreciate the times that they don't, right? It's like, yesterday was an awesome meditation day. Today, not so much. That means that my evening meditation is probably going to be pretty bomb, because I had a bad one in the morning. But you really just surrender to that process. Be very gentle with yourself. I always say, grab a teacher. My meditation practice really expanded when I met my teacher, David G. He certified me. I am a certified Masters of Wisdom and Meditation teacher. I'm certified in Shakti energy, healing. And once I actually, I still, to this day, he's still my teacher. I literally just had a 3-hour call with him yesterday. But it really allows you to have accountability, and you have a guide there. And that's why I love the Blooming Lotus membership so much, because you have me. Like, you can ask me questions, you can text me, you can email me, you can write it on the platform, whatever works for you. I'm always going to be there, because it's scary. When you first start, you're like, am I doing this right? What is meditation? What am I supposed to be doing? What exactly is it? What's a mantra? What's my breath? I mean, there's just so many different ways to get involved into that practice, that having someone there to guide you is really, really, really helpful. Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. You said a whole lot and had a whole lot to say while you were talking, just like you were talking about. Just like, this is a fantastic conversation. Going back to something that we said, I want to throw out, because we have a few minutes left, 5 minutes left. Okay, so not holding on to energy, but letting it go, right? Both Grant Cardone and Dame Dash, right? Damon Dash said this about money, that they don't keep cash at all. Like, when they get it, it immediately goes out to do something. They immediately deploy it. I think it's the same thing with, because money is energy. So if you're holding your money, you're holding your energy in. And I thought that was really interesting. So if I'm releasing money as a way for it to come back to me, I'm releasing my energy as a way for it to come back to me. These words I'm releasing as a way for them to come back to me. In business and marketing, ideally my taglines are coming back to me. I run into people who I've never met before who are like, I like that you talk about XYZ all the time. Okay, those are words that came back to me in a more as practical sense. Money coming back to me in a more practical sense is investing versus spending. So okay, I'm going to, like, some of this stuff is an investment, because I want to eventually make money off of the podcast, or off of co-working, or off of my relationship with the coffee shop, off of my relationship with Kelsey and the guest on the podcast. So it's like all of it's all intertwined, but the only way I have a huge network. can't hold my network in. I'd have to share the network with the world in order to use it. But at the same time, I'm using this conversation. I'm using this experience, because this experience right now, with our last podcast, my previous co-host, it was the conversation that made us start a podcast. And there was that conversation that made us go from 20 minutes to an hour long. And the conversation, which is why when we stopped that podcast, over a year later, I've been looking for a way to start the podcast again, because the value in just connecting, well, I already clearly connected with you. I see your Instagram posts. I don't know you as a person. I don't really know what you do, but there's these touch points. Now we have an hour-long conversation where, okay, we really get to know and talk to each other. So I also get to connect with my audience. So thinking about success, I'm just rambling on. Thinking about success, there are all these different layers of what is successful. And one of the major issues I have, which is why I don't talk to people much about now what I'm doing. Before I was like this is what's going on, I need all the help I can possibly get, to now I have a highly curated list of human beings who I talk to about very specific things, and I have my business advisors and my internal team. So yeah, I don't know, I feel like I'm just internally trying to talk about how I really don't talk to people. Like, I talk to a lot of people all the time, right? But getting personal with people or talking in a way that I feel like I'm gaining value, like this conversation, is rare. That's what I want to say. Okay. So I think I'm trying to figure out how do I don't know, on the one side, I don't want to. I have zero desire to, going back to what you were saying, Danny Morale said something similar to what you're saying with your customer. You have the mantra, which is really awesome, the affirmation, let the person who needs my service contact me. He was saying that one shift in his business was real estate, was he sat down and he wrote the characteristics of my ideal customers. And it was, they're easy to work with, they want my product, they can use my help, they like me, I like them. It was like all these non-tangible things. And I was like, I never thought about that before. Mm-hmm. So you attract it. And then Grant Cardone says the same thing. He was like, if you go out into the world and you're cheap and you're always looking for deals, you're going to have a customer who's cheap and always looking for deals. Mm-hmm. You're always trying to screw people over. Those are the people you're going to attract. This goes back to the law of attraction. Right. This goes back to biology, words, psychology, like all of these different things are all always intertwined. Right. We just don't see it. We just don't know it's all intertwined. But yeah, this is great. So I think I just really need to, I feel like I'm talking to myself.
So just so you know, this is very normal. When I talk to people, they start kind of processing, because, it's one thing to read something, but when you're actually are having a human connection with someone, it shifts something, right? Like, I can really come back to certain people in my life that I've had conversations with that I can feel literally the energy shift. Poof. It's like poof. And you're like, wow. Like, this happened to me this weekend with my husband, right? Like, he said something to me that I was like, wow. And he's like, what? And I was like, aha moment. It just blew my mind. And he's like, what? And I'm like, and we just sat there, and I literally, it's almost like I don't know if you've ever seen, I'm a movie buff, and when you're taking pictures with your eyes, it's like I was taking pictures. What movie is that? Oh my God, I can't, it has to be.
I've always said that though, how amazing would it be that if we could take pictures just by blinking?
By blinking? Well, I do it in my mind, I'm like.
Eddie Murphy was in a spy movie with someone, and they had a contact, they were spies, and you blink to take the pictures. At least one, or James Bond or something.
Something like that. So I'm like, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm taking pictures.
Just let me be.
That's interesting.
But you really like, we talk to people and we meet for people not by accident. There's no accidents in life. There's no coincidences. Everything that we do, we're supposed to be here in this perfect, precious moment of right now. Because we're supposed to be. Because we're supposed to have this connection. So when you're like, I'm just rambling, no, it's perfect. That's what you're supposed to be doing right now. And, maybe you'll forget about our conversation next week. Maybe you won't. Maybe you'll call me. Maybe you'll be like, oh my God, we need to keep talking. I'm here every Wednesday and Friday. So, so it's really a beautiful thing. And when you're a meditator, just throwing this out there, you really can see these moments more clearly. It's like, like it. All of a sudden, your life, it's like you shake those old contact lenses in, and you're popping new ones in, and it's like, that's life. Wow, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful way to live. Doesn't it make you want to meditate?
That is awesome.
That's why I fell in love with it.
Well, we were meditating on your words because when you talk about meditation and the way that people generally talk about, like it's difficult or et cetera, we meditate all the time, every day. You're just not realizing it. So every time people are watching that commercial, that time that they don't have, when they're watching that commercial that you know over and over and over again, it's because you've meditated on it for 30 times over the course of the last year, because that's what they did with the marketing dollars. When you're listening to someone speak, when you're driving and you're listening to a song or listening to the radio, just when you're doing anything where you're just focused on that one thing, you're meditating.
You're meditating. It's
but you
called
just
the
don't know
zone.
it. Yeah, when
It's
you're
called
in
the zone.
Yes.
So I always like to give this example because I love roller coasters and I used to ride them all the time as I've gotten into my 40s, not so much. But I used to, like, in that moment when you're in that roller coaster and you can hear the you're like, like you're in that present moment. You're in that zone. And then when you hit that bottom, like, it's amazing. That's a meditation, right? So you might not be in a roller coaster where you're meditating, but you can be doing so many different things in life and still experience that stillness and that zone mode in many different aspects of your life. Yeah, that's
Awesome.
beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a great way to end the podcast.
Absolutely.
All right, we're done. Anchor's already
Anchor's like a
Anchor already quit, but we're still live. So thank you all for joining us. And that is our show because we don't have to have an ending since actually we will since this is going to go on YouTube since that camera stopped. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
Southern
you for
Arizona,
having
thank you
me.
so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. How can everyone find you? Open Lotus Meditation.
You can find me at openlotusmeditation.com. My contact information is there. I offer free 30-minute sessions, so if someone's like, I have no idea what to do, where to start, please reach out to me. I have free guided meditations on there, all of my services. I have joined the tribe. That's when you join my mail subscription. However, it's not like an email that you're going to get every week. You literally are going to get lessons and free meditations. So it's a really valuable way to even get started. And of course, I give you updates on what's happening with Open Lotus. But most of all, you're going to get lessons. There's a YouTube lesson, so you can follow me on YouTube at Open Lotus Meditation. I'm also on Instagram on Open Lotus Meditation and Facebook under Open Lotus Meditation. But my purpose in life is to use my passion for meditation to inspire and teach others that transformation is possible through meditation. And we say transformation because when we transform, we evolve. When we change, we go back. We change our hair color, we change our nail color, we can go back. But when we transform, we're evolving. And that's my purpose. Every single day. I do it for free, I do it paid, I do it while I'm walking, when I'm talking to people. That's how you know you're living it, right? You're living your dream, your dharma, your pillars that uphold who you are, is when you can actually do your purpose at any time with anyone. So I hope you reach out to me, and mic drop.
That's awesome. Later, Southern Arizona. Cool. All right.
So tell me about your classes that you have on Fridays.
So those are sound healing classes, and